Hello, everyone.
Hi, Rob.
How's it? Yes. Did you find it? Marky? Did you find it?
I didn't find the Gemara, but I've got the Chumash. No problem.
Okay, no problem. That will be good enough. We're going to join now. So I see that everyone connecting. We'll give another few seconds just for the connection. And I'm going to put myself now so you can see me. Yeah, I'm connecting. Good. Let's see who else is connecting. I see Gabriel. Hello, Gabriel. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Sean. Thank you for joining us. Mark, Linda, Mr. Gordon Bennett. Nice seeing you.
Hello, Rabbi.
Hello, Janet. Oh, yeah. We'll give another few seconds just for more people to join us because I see there's more people connecting. And I would like to see who's connecting. Louis. Hello, Louis.
Hi,
Thank
Rabbi.
you for joining us. Baruch Hashem and you.
We have to survive. We have to survive.
Yeah. Yeah. So, guys, I would like to take, first of all, the opportunity and to thank each one of you individually, like for the great thing that we done today. We achieved to finish 6 times the books of the Tehillim. Rabotai, 6 times. It's not a simple thing. Another good news, just to let you know that Mr. Bondi, Elton Bondi is out of the hospital, he's at home. He was sending me a message, first of all, to say thank you and appreciation for all the Tehillim that we say. He's very weak, but he said thank you very, very much. Regarding Liron. Liron is still in the hospital. We're hoping that to hear good news. We're hoping to hear good news just to give you an update what's happening. As soon as I have more updates, I will try to keep you. I'm not sure if he's ventilating or not, but he's definitely in the hospital. Okay, I see that also Stephen joining us. Let's see. Yes, Stephen also joining us. Good. Okay, so let's wait another few minutes. Hello, Stephen. Okay, also Brian Scher joining us. Good. Good, everyone.
That's the other way.
Good. Okay, Rabotai, I'm going to start the show, Be'ezrat Hashem. I would like to ask everyone to mute themselves, so it's not going to be noise. Please mute yourself, so it will be, I'm going to mute everyone. Okay, everyone. Everyone is muted. Be'ezrat Hashem na'aseh v'natzliach. Today we're going to speak about mitzvah tzitzit. I would like to delegate that shi'ur lefuat Liron ben Sarit, David ben Esther, Menashe Naji ben Farha, Esther bat Moshe Levy. Hello, Adam. Thank you for joining us. It's nice to see you with us, Adam. Liora bat Miriam, Reuven Haim ben Alia, Tzipora bat Esther, Dvora bat Esther, Natan Pinhas ben Dvora Malka. Please God that the shi'ur will be in Day Refuah. Also, we'll dedicate that shi'ur in memory of our friend Moti, Mordechai ben Rahma, Esther Kaden bat Kitzia. Be'ezrat Hashem na'aseh v'natzliach v'Hashem alenu berachamav v'yarviach. Today we're going to speak about the attribute of Tzitzit. And our official reader going to be our friend Mark. So one of the Taryag mitzvot that we have in our Holy Torah, it's mitzvah tzitzit. Taryag, it means 613 mitzvot that we have in the Torah. And So one of those mitzvot that we mentioned, it's mitzvah tzitzit, and the Taryag mitzvot is 613, that every person obligated. Sorry about it. I needed to mute. There's someone making noise. I'm not sure who, but it was a noise, so I couldn't focus. So we say one of the mitzvot in the Torah, one of the 613 mitzvot that we have in the Torah, it's mitzvah tzitzit, that every male obligated to wear every day. It's mitzvah tzitzit. Where's the source to it? So I'm going to bring two sources. The sources is from our Holy Torah. And the Holy Torah tells us in Sefer Bamidbar, in Parashat Shelach Lecha, Parashat the Meraglim, the Parsha of the Meraglim, towards the end, the Parsha, in chapter 15, verse 38 and verse 39, that Mark going to read for us in English, it said there, Daber el Bnei Israel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu command Moshe Rabbeinu and said to Moshe Rabbeinu, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם. Mark, will you unmute yourself and please read for us these two verses?
Speak to the children of Israel and say to them that they shall make themselves tzitzit on the corners of their garments throughout their generations. And they shall place upon the tzitzit of each corner a thread of turquoise wool.
Okay, so that's one of the sources that the Holy Torah speak about mitzvah tzitzit. The second source, funny enough, come in the second book. After that, straight after that, that's the fifth book, Sefer Dvarim, in Parashat Ki Titzeh, in chapter 22, in verse 22. Chapter 22, verse 12, and there it says like this. גדלים תעשה לך על 4 כנפות כסותך, אשר תכסה בה. בכבוד.
You shall make for yourself twisted threads on the 4 corners of your garment, with which you cover yourself.
Okay, so we see from here that the mitzvah of tzitzit, it's one of the positive command from the Taryag mitzvot that the Torah tells us. But we have to understand, what is the reason for mitzvah tzitzit? Why do we have to wear tzitzit? Why is it so important? Why is it so important that we have to wear tzitzit? So if we look at the first source that we read in Parashat Bamidbar, the Torah there tells us that we have to do it. Why? דבר על בני ישראל ואמרת להם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם. That the main reason is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu command us to have a tzitzit is not to wander after our hearts and our eyes. Why? Chazal explained that in the merit of mitzvah tzitzit, okay, that a person look at the tzitzit, that can help him to stop wandering and looking at things that he should not look. That means that will stop you from looking at things that you're not allowed to look at. Chazal bringing another different idea. What is the tzitzit? Chazal explained that the national garment of the Jewish people is the tzitzit. If you look, when you want to draw a picture of a Jewish person, one of the things that you do, you're drawing that he wear a tzitzit. And they say, like the Japanese people wear the kimono, the Indian people wear the sari, that's the traditional or the national garment. The Mexican have the sombrero hat, and the Dutch people wear the wooden slip-slops, as you know. So Chazal say that one of our national garments, it's the tzitzit. Remember, the tzitzit, it's your national garment. The third thing, the Gemara in Masechet Menachot, giving us a different reason completely. And she explained it like this. The Gemara in Masechet Menachot, page 43, folio 2, explained that mitzvah tzitzit come to remind us of all the mitzvot. And Chazal said that, Rabbi Shimon Omer, I'm just going to make it short, that mitzvah tzitzit skula keneged kol mitzvot. That means that the mitzvah of tzitzit, it's equivalent to all the mitzvot that we have in the Torah. How did you come to that? So Rashi HaKadosh in Parashat Shelach, say like this. He explained, if you take the gematria of tzitzit, tzadik, yud, taf. Tzadik is 90, yud is 10, together is 100. Tzadik yud again, it's another 100, together it's 200. Taf, it's 400. Together, the tzitzit become to 600. Remember that. Say Rashi HaKadosh, how do we get to 613 mitzvot? You know how. The gematria of tzitzit is 600. You have in a tzitzit 5 knots that you make. We have to make 5 knots on a tzitzit. Plus the 8th string that we have, say, equivalent, if you add it up together, 500, you have here 600 plus you have the 5 mitzvot of the knot, okay? That's giving you already 605, plus the 8th string, together it's 613. Say the Rashi HaKadosh, you know why mitzvah tzitzit, it's equivalent to all the mitzvot? Because in the merit of the mitzvah tzitzit, there is 600, the gematria of it is 613. And that's become equivalent to the Taryag mitzvot, that's hinting to all the mitzvot that we have in the Torah. The second thing that we have to understand, which garment are we obligated to put a string? So Hazal in the Gemara in Masechet Menachot that speak about the mitzvah of tzitzit in page 43, folio 2, teach us something very important. And Hazal say from the verse in Sefer Dvarim that speak regarding the mitzvah of tzitzit in Parashat Ki Tetzeh LaMilchama, there in chapter 22, verse 12, Hazal say, Gedalim ta'aseh lecha al 4 kanfot. Hazal say like this. From here you learn that the garment that you have to put tzitzit on it have to have 4 corners. That means if the clothes or the garment that you're wearing have only 3 corners, it's not obligated. Or if the garment that you're wearing doesn't have 4 square, is not obligated of string. That means that you can't make them tzitzit. Therefore, from here we learn something very important. The clothes that we wear today, for example, the shirt that the person wears, the pants, the suit, the jacket that he wears, and etc., they are not obligated of tzitzit. So what we do, to be merit of mitzvah tzitzit, we make a special garment that have 4 corners, and it have to be square, okay? And we put a string on it, and we say Lishem mitzvah tzitzit, and that's become the tzitzit. And then we say the brocha on tzitzit. How many kind of tzitziot we have? So we have 2 different kind of tzitziot. There is talit katan and talit gadol. What's the difference between them? The talit katan is the tzitzit that we put under our shirt, under our clothes. The talit gadol is the tzitzit that we usually get used to cover ourselves, okay, in Tfilat Shacharit during the week, in Tfilat Shacharit and Musaf, in Shabbat and Rosh Chodesh. Those when we cover ourselves with tzitzit gadol. So from here we learn that there is 2 different tzitzit, the tzitzit katan and tzitzit gadol. And that's the difference between them. That the tzitzit katan come under the clothes, when the tzitzit gadol go over the clothes. Now, I'm gonna come to a different halachically point of view that many people wondering about it. If the string of the tzitzit should be inside the clothes or outside. And there is a different minhagim. So first of all, I'm gonna start with the Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch start in Siman Het, that means chapter 8 and verse 11. And he said like this, Ikar mitzvah talit katan lilbosho al begadav kede shetamid yir'u v'yiskor hamitzvot. What it means? The Shulchan Aruch say in chapter 8 verse 11 that the main mitzvah of tzitzit, okay, talit katan, that you should wear it over your clothes. who wear it over the clothes. I'll tell you, there is Hasidut Breslev. I don't know if you know about it. Hasidut Breslev is one of the Hasidut that put it over the clothes, over their shirt. And the main reason is, and they go according to Maran Shulchan Aruch, Rabbi Yosef Karo, that you should see it and you should remember the mitzvot. Rabbi Yaakov Haim Sofer. Rabbi Yaakov Haim Sofer wrote the famous book, Kaf HaHaim. Kaf HaHaim, it's a book of halachot. He born 153 years ago in a city of Baghdad in Iraq. And in chapter 8, in verse 43, he bring in the name of Ari HaKadosh, Rabbi Yitzhak Luria, that the main reason that the person should wear his tzitzit is under his clothes. And he said, why? Because he said, those that wear it over the clothes, okay, that's considered Yehura. Yehura, what it means Yehura? That Yehura, it's to show off. And that's the main mistake that people should do. That's Ari HaKadosh. Harav Ovadia Yosef, that born 99 years ago, also in Baghdad in Iraq. And he wrote in his book, Yehveh Da'at, volume 2, verse 1, and he bring in the name of Ari, listen what he said, that according to the mystical, spiritual, whatever you want to call it, people should wear the tzitzit, and the tzitzit should be inside the clothes. It shouldn't be, the string shouldn't be outside. And by the way, that's the paskin that the Sfaradim, most of the Sfaradim go. The Mishnah Brura wrote on it in chapter 8, verse 26. He bring in the name of the Magen Avraham. And the Magen Avraham said that no, the tzitzit, that means the string, should be outside, and that most of the Ashkenazim follow that minhag of the Magen Avraham. So from here we see that there is two different main opinions. The one opinion is according that the Sfaradi follow, and that's follow Ari HaKadosh, Rabbi Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi, and he's a mystical rabbi, and he explained that the main reason that people should put the tzitzit inside, it's from a spiritual point of view. We'll get to it just now. We'll see why. We'll explain. But according to the Magen Avraham, and that's what follow most of the Ashkenazim, that the string should be outside. That's regarding that halacha, should the string will be inside or outside. Now, I would like to go to a different opinion. What is the meaning of that mitzvah? What is the meaning of the mitzvah of tzitzit? So the special attribute that we see on mitzvah tzitzit, by that the person can see the tzitzit, he can remember all the mitzvot of the Torah, like we explained that Rashi brought. And that's what it said, Ureitem uschartem et kol mitzvotai. That means you should see and you should remember all the mitzvot. So that means that one of the main reasons that we're wearing the wearing tzitzit, it's to see it, and by that we see the tzitzit, we remember all the mitzvot that we have in the Torah. The tzitzit also, we mentioned that have to be square. And many of the Mefarshim ask, why dafka square? What difference does it make? So the Hazal explained, the Mefarshim explained, there's a secret about it. It's to teach us that the person that wears tzitzit, HaKadosh Baruch Hu actually surrounded him and guard him from four corners of the earth. That means north, south, east, and west. Now, I would like you just remember that, what I mentioned now, because I'm going to tell a story that I heard from a first source, and you all know him. But before we start with the story, I would like to continue about the remedy of the tzitzit. What it means, the remedy of a tzitzit? The person that wears a tzitzit, what's the remedy behind it? So we so far explained the mitzvah of tzitzit, why is it so important. We explained all the halachot that have to do with that. Many of the things I didn't speak, like how many holes have to be. According to one opinion, must be one hole. The other, the more Kabbalistic rabbi explained that should be two holes, and through them, you actually put the string The Chabad put the two hole on the angle, not straight. The tzitzit have to be from a wool. There's all different halachot, but I'm not going into it. And there is different way that you tie the tzitzit. All of them agree that it's 7, 8, 11, and 13, but the Ari HaKadosh explained that it has to be a special string on the top according to Kabbalistic, but we're not touching it now. I don't think that that's for now. But I would like to go to the remedy of the tzitzit. The Gaon Hida, the famous Hida, Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azulai, he born in Jerusalem 296 years ago. And one of his books that called Dvash Levy, in volume 4, in verse 27, he bringing in the name of the Ari. Listen what he said. A person that wears tzitzit, I'm going to read it in Hebrew and then I'm going to translate it to English. A person that wears a tzitzit, metila mi'ina bisha shel kochot hatum'ah. What is it? Said the Gaon Hida in the name of Ari HaKadosh, that was a great mystical rabbi. And all the Kabbalah that we have today, all the mystical Torah that we have today, he actually opened it and make it much more easier for us to understand. And he said like this, that the person that wears tzitzit, the tzitzit actually save him from the evil eye of the evil forces. That means when a person wears a tzitzit, you have the guardians of what? The guardians of the evil eye. That means those evil forces that want to put evil eyes on him, in the merit of the tzitzit, she can cancel that evil eye. That's one idea. And the Midrash HaGadol, the big Midrash, on Sefer Bamidbar in Parashat Shelach Lecha in chapter 15, in verse 41, if you want to look at it, it's in page 271. Listen what he said. Bischot mitzvat hatzitzit, in the merit of the mitzvah of the tzitzit, ha'oivim kalim v'noflim. The enemies get disappear and actually fall down. That means that they cannot win you. Remember that? Because I'm going to tell you the story from the first source that I hear. Let's move on. The Hafetz Haim, the great Hafetz Haim, in his book, Shmirat HaLashon, in volume 2, he bring there in the end, towards the end, in chapter 3, and also Kaf Haim that I mentioned, Rabbi Yaakov Haim Sofer, he bring in Kaf Haim in chapter 23, verse 25. Listen what he said. When a person look at the string of the tzitzit, there is a remedy that if you have a strange fault, not good fault, in the merit of looking at the tzitzit, he can get rid of them. Not only that, a person that suffer from anger, a person that he know that he's the angry person and he get cross very easy, say the Hafetz Haim and the Kaf Haim, in the merit of that looking at the tzitzit, you can overcome your anger. So we see from here another remedy. The number one, we say that it's keep guarding you from the evil eyes so far. I'm just repeating. The second one, that the enemy can't do nothing to you. They actually get the spurs. The third one that we say now, that it's to control your anger. Number three, it can help you to push away aside the evil thought that, or the strange thought that the person have in mind. I'm going to bring another 3 different remedies. There's many, many more. And as much that I speak about it, there's many, many more remedies, but I'll try to summarize and to bring the most important. And listen what it says in Sefer Ta'amei HaMinhagim. Ta'amei HaMinhagim is a book that I bring a lot of the halachot that sometime when Rabbi Tenza is absent and Rabbi Alon is absent, and they ask me to speak between Mincha and Mariv when we used to daven in the shul, I used to bring and I used to quote a lot of Sefer Ta'amei HaMinhagim. Ta'amei HaMinhagim. In page 9 and 10, he bring in the name of Ktav Yosher, and that he bring in the name of the Ari. Listen to that. and he said that the person that look at the string of the tzitzit while he's saying Kriyat Shema, listen to that. When you say Kriyat Shema and you look at the string of the tzitzit, Rabotai, focus with me now. That's equivalent to the twice of the word Ain. Ain, it's mina eye. He said in the merit of that, that is segula. It's a remedy for parnasa. You want the parnasa? What is parnasa? Wealth. You want to be rich? Look at the tzitziyot. When you say Kriyat Shema, that's a remedy that your parnasa never going to disappear. He said, how did you learn that? Say like this. In Tehillim, in Pasuk Asher Yeshvei Betecha, what does it say there? Einei kol elecha yisaberu, ve'ata noten lahem et ochlam ba'ito. The eyes of all of you that, what it mean all of you? All of us that keep our eyes up to the heaven, that mean the eyes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give them their food whenever they need it, in their time. That means that in the merit of looking at the string of the tzitzit, a person can reach wealth. You're looking for prosperity? Look at your tzitzit. That's in the name of Ari HaKadosh. Another, in page 10, say, Baal Ta'amei Minagim, he said like this, in contrast, in Yanei Tzitzit, he brought in Kitzur HaShala, the Shala HaKadosh. And he bring in the name of Sefer HaKavanot, I'm just going to jump a bit, that when a person kissed the tzitzit, when in mitzvah, and when he says Shema Israel, and he look at the string, and he put it over his eyes twice, ureitem oto, uschartem oto, okay, when you put the tzitzit twice over your eyes, is a remedy that that person will never be blind. That means here's another remedy. A person doesn't want to be blind, look at the tzitzit and put it over your eyes. That means the string of the tzitzit when you say Kriyat Shema. I'm going to bring you the sixth segula, that means the sixth remedy that I hear personally from Arav Zamir Cohen. Arav Zamir Cohen, Shalita, is a rabbi in Israel, and he have the famous Arutz Hidabrut. Hidabrut, it's Arutz, it's a religious a channel in Israel that only try to help Yiddishkeit. And there he explained, and I heard him say, he said that there is a remedy of the tzitzit. What is the remedy of the tzitzit? The remedy of the tzitzit, that if a person learn Torah and he want to remember what he learned, by looking at the tzitzit and kissing the tzitzit, sorry, that person will remember all what he learned Torah. He said, how do you learn that? He said, it say in a pasuk. What does it say in a pasuk? What does it say in a verse? Ureitem oto uschartem et kol mitzvotai. By that you look at the tzitzit, you also remember all the mitzvot. What mitzvot that you learn, the Torah that you learn. Before I'm going to move on to speak about the story that I told you, I would like to give time for those of you that want to ask questions. I don't know which one of you want to ask questions, so bechavod, if anyone of you want to ask question regarding the tzitzit, no problem. Anyone, just unmute yourself and just ask the question. Adam, you want to ask? I can see it. First of all, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. I've been wanting to for a long time. I've just got a chavritza that I normally have at this time. Otherwise, Rabbi, in terms of kissing the tzitzit and putting it in your eyes, how does that work?
Okay, so if you look at mitzvah tzitzit, you have the siddur next to you. You have the siddur right next to you. No problem. Go get it.
Okay.
Okay. In Parashat Shema, go to Parashat Tzitzit. Vayomer Hashem el Moshe lemor, daber al bnei Israel, va'amarta alehem. Can you see it there?
Yeah.
Parashat Tzitzit. Okay, so you all know that just before Tzitzit, we put all the 4 string on between these 2 fingers, the hand fingers. That's everyone know, nachon?
Yeah.
I tell you a mahloket that there is, I think the Gaon Mivilna bring that you put only the front 2 tzitziot, the front 2 string that you put it, and that's what Rav Ovadia said. But the Shulchan Aruch and most of the poskim, and especially the Kabbalistic rabbi, the mystical rabbi, said that you put the 4 string here. So you hold the tzitzit like this. Am I right, Adam? You with me? You looking at me? Now read it with me. דבר בני ישראל תלהם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בניהם דורותם, נתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת, נכון? והיה לכם לציצית וראיתם אותו. Can you see? It said ראיתם אותו. When you say ראיתם אותו, you look at it and you put it over your eyes.
Just touch one, touch another one, and then down.
That's it. Just like this. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. And then again, continue. Can you see there? It's mentioned again to see the tzitzit. ראיתם אותו וזכרתם כל מצוותיו ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי עיניכם. Again, through the eyes twice. By that you do it twice, and also in Kriyat Shema, that at the beginning, that it says ראיתם אותו twice, that you put over your eyes, there is a guarantee that a person not going to become blind.
Why put it over the eyes, Rabbi?
Sorry?
But what's the significance of putting the eyes? If you just look at it, if you just look at the tzitzit, isn't that enough? Rather than just putting it over the eyes as well. What's the
very good. Very good. Stephen, is it you? Am I right, Stephen? Because I can't see all of you together. I can see only 3 of you. Okay. Stephen, first of all, I did mention Natan Pinchas ben Dvora Malka, and I also mentioned Esther Bat Moshe Levy, Stephen. I don't forget. I usually try to remind her all the time. So what happened here? When you hold it, it's a very 10. But the merit, when you put it over your eyes, that's the segula, that's the remedy that you're not going to come blind. You understand? Stephen?
Yeah, and also...
Can you hear me? Stephen, the remedy is when you put it over your eyes.
I heard you.
Touch your eyes. The remedy of the tzitzit, that is the remedy that, has v'shalom, no person will be blind. That's according... Where does it come from? Remember, Kitzur HaShalah, and he bringing in the name of Sefer HaKavanot. Sefer HaKavanot, it's a Kabbalistic book, and I think that's Eitz Chaim, if I'm not mistaken, that wrote it, the Maharchu, Rabbi Chaim Vital, in the name of Ari HaKadosh. Any other question, Rabotai? Adam, you have any more question?
No, so just when we say we read Temoto, we do it once, like for both eyes, and then Lotaturu as well.
Yeah. Also, at the beginning of Shema, if you look at the beginning, Ureitem oso uschartem. Also, okay. Who's asking? Sorry, I can't hear. Brian, Bechavod. Yes, Brian.
Tell me, if you go and after you come home and you have a shower before Mincha, obviously you take off your tzitzit, have the shower, put the tzitzit back on. Do you now have to make another bracha, or is the original bracha from the morning still valid?
Very good question.
And then you finish the gym, do you need to put another bracha or not?
Very good question. I tell you, I've been asked that from some of my students in South America. One of my students asked me that question. So how do we answer that? How do we look at the mitzvah of tzitzit? Look at that, Brian, and that will help you focus with me, and that will help you to understand. The mitzvah tzitzit, can you go with the tzitzit to the toilet? Yes, you can. Nachon? You go with the tzitzit to the toilet. Even the big tzitzit that you put over yourself, you can go with that to the toilet. But mishum kavod, what it means mishum kavod, to honor the tzitzit, we don't go with that into the toilet. So come Hazal and say, what happened if you need to go to the toilet, do you have to say the brocha or not? No, you don't have to say the brocha. Why? Because I can go into the toilet with a tzitzit. Because I can go with it into the toilet, that's that I take it, not because I'm not allowed. I'm allowed. What am I doing? I'm just showing respect to the tzitzit, and I'm taking it off. In that case, you don't have to say the brocha. So now to answer your question, when you come home after a full day of work and you sweat and you want to have a shower and then to run quick to shul, to daven mincha, you don't have to say again the brocha. Why? Because you say it when? Originally in the morning. When do you say the brocha? You don't say it on a talit katan that you put. You say it on a big tzitzit that you put over your clothes. By that you say it, you say the hova, also the talit katan that you put before and after. Okay, Brian, I hope that I answer you. Brian?
Sorry, and if you go to gym and the same thing at gym for an hour or an hour, 20 minutes, you still don't have to say brocha again.
Yeah, well, no, you don't have to. Why you have to say brocha? Usually, I don't understand why you take the tzitzit. You should leave the tzitzit when you go to gym. Because all the remedy that we mention now, that your enemies against the evil eyes, okay, not to have a bad thought, especially at the gym, against anger. In a gym, you see things that usually it's not so tzniut, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? So when you wear it underneath your shirt, what's the problem with that? You go to have a shower,
Right. One last question there.
Sure, last. Take your time, guys. Yes, if I can.
When you have your sets tucked in your trousers, so to be, does it matter that they might not be, they can get mixed up, moved around, or must they be single? There's one in the front, one in the back. Does it make any difference?
Yes, very good question. Did you understand, guys, what Brian said? Brian said, when you take the tzitziot, the strings sometimes get mixed together. And sometimes they get tangled, and sometimes they go to one side or to the other side or whatever. There's no problem with that. What is the main mitzvah the garment that you're wearing? What am I saying, the garment? The garment, the tzitzit himself. That should have 4 corners. Those 4 corners should have tzitziot, obviously. Now, if you look carefully, and the halacha that I explained, that there is a different minhagim between the Ashkenazim and the Sfaradim. The Sfaradim follow, according to Ari Kadosh, the mystical, that go into Kabbalah. They say that all the tzitziot should be inside. But if you look according to what the Magen Avraham say in the Mishnah Berucha, that the string should be outside, if you look carefully, they're already getting mixed. Why? Because on each side, they get together, if I'm not mistaken. They don't put them 2 in the front, 2 at the back. They put them 2 on the side, on the right, and 2 on the left. You follow, Brian? So there's no problem with that. You follow?
Thank you.
Pleasure. Any other question, Rabotai, before I'm going to continue?
I don't know if it's on the same topic, but why do we do with Baruch She'amar? We put it on our right finger.
Oh, that's a different story.
Different topic,
Adam, let me explain to you. What is the purpose of tzitzit? There is a different, and Adam, very good point that you mention it, and I just want, quick, to do an explanation and to do some order.
Rob, also, you use the tzitzit there as well.
I lost it. One second. One at a time. Let me just finish with Adam. Who's that? Steve, am I right?
Steve, yeah.
Yeah.
Steve,
let me answer. Let me answer first, Adam, and then I'll come back to you. Okay. So what do we do in Baruch She'amar? In Baruch She'amar, there is a difference. We take only the 2 front tzitziot, Adam. We don't take all the 4 and we put it again here. Why? There's many explanations. I'm going to bring the simple explanation to connect it to our shiur to understand. Because what is Baruch She'amar? That means bless the one that told that will be light, will be earth. And that mitzvah of Tzitzit reminds us all the mitzvot that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell us. That means by that you're holding it in your hand and you look at it, and in the end of Baruch She'amar, you're kissing it, that's equivalent to all the mitzvot that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world. You understand? Stephen, you wanted to ask something? Sorry.
Sorry, also with Ashrei, you also hold the tzitzit then as well, and you say that when you say potach et yadecha.
I didn't see that minhag. I tell you the truth. Potach et yadecha, I've done a shiur, that if you look potach et yadecha, there is there 3 holy names. I don't remember people holding the tzitzit and potach et yadecha, but the custom is that when you say potach et yadecha, remember those 3 words. Take the first letter of potach et yadecha, it's pei aleph yud. That's holy name. I don't want to mention it. Another holy name that comes from it, that's all mystical, is Samech Aleph Lamed. Adrian, it's that ring a bell? Samech Aleph Lamed, you remember? Then we have another name. Thank you. And then there is another holy name that comes from it. If you take the last letters of Poteach et Yadecha, it's Taf, Het, Chaf Sofit. Those, the 3 holy names that HaKadosh Baruch Hu bring the prosperity down to earth. And that's what you're referring to. Is that what you're referring to? Am I right, Stephen?
Yeah, but there is, as I said, there is a custom that you also potach et yadecha. You put you kiss the hand and the hand and the rosh as well. The yad and the rosh.
So I tell you what is the Ari HaKadosh say and what we should do. Ari HaKadosh say that when you say potach et yadecha, you should open your hand. Not you. You should open your hand. That means potach et yadecha, that the Almighty will open His hand, and we open our hand up to our face, to our eyes, to receive the prosperity from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What it means potach? That we're asking the Almighty to open His hand, that full with prosperity, to release to us. And by that we're holding it like this, I'm going to move a little bit backwards, that we're receiving the prosperity that HaKadosh Baruch Hu bring down to earth. And while you're doing that, you have to have in mind those 3 holy names that I mentioned. Not to mention them. Never mention them. Because those 3 names of an angel, and if you mention them, they might gonna harm. So remember the name. Pei Aleph Yud, Samech Aleph Lamed, Het Taf Chaf Sofit. Don't mention their name. Just look at them always, okay, in your eyes, and imagine that the prosperity brought with those holy names from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and open your eyes to receive the prosperity. Not you should open your hand, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should open His hand. And we just catching the prosperity. You follow, Stephen?
Thank you, Rav. I've heard. Understood. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for any other question, Rabotai? No. Can we continue with your permission? So we mentioned that in Midrash HaGadol, on Sefer Bamidbar, in chapter 15, in verse 41, remember page 271, if someone want to check it. The Midrash tells us that the person that wears tzitzit is to protect them from enemy, and his enemy can't harm him. And I'll tell you a story, first source story, and I'll mention the name because I spoke with the person and I asked him, can I tell the story? And he said, no problem. All of you know, have a friend, Shimon Maruti, Simon Maruti, נכון? Simon Maruti. Simon Maruti was in Shabbos when I give the Shorim at Yeshiva College on Parashat Hashavua. On one of the Parshiot, we go to Parashat Tzitzit, Parashat Shlach Lecha, Parashat HaMeraglim. And there, one Shabbos, I spoke in depth on the merit of Tzitzit. And I was explaining that the Tzitzit protect and guard people that wear it. And enemies cannot harm that person that wear a Tzitzit. And I brought a story that happened during the Second World War, that it was a Jewish guy that decided to join the war and to go and fight. His father was against that, but he couldn't do nothing. The son was old enough, and he said, so the father said to his son, listen to me, I want you to promise me one thing. When you're going to join the war, promise me that you'll wear a tzitzit katan all the time under your clothes, and you will never take it, only if you need to go to the shower and etc. And the son promised his father. That was the promise. That's the story that I told. And when he was on one of the unit, and when they gone, the Nazi bombed the place that they was. And all of his friends from his platoon died. He the only one that survived. And then I explained, I don't want to go to it, because that's not the main issue of the story. So I told that's in a shiur on Shabbos, and with that I end up the shiur. After the shiur, before we go on to Soldat Shlishit, our friend Simon Maruti came to me. And he said to me, Rabbi, I want to talk to you. I said, yeah, what can I help? And we was talking about the mitzvah of tzitzit, and he said to me, I would like to take on myself to wear a permanent tzitzit. I said, that will be great. He said, Rabbi, is that mitzvah going to protect me? I said, there is a guarantee to it. And with that, I left it. We left it with that. Listen to that. I think it was 6 months or 8 months later, Simon Maruti came to me one day in the middle of the show. And he said to me, Rabbi, you remember that you given me a guarantee if I wear a tzitzit, that's for protection? I say, yes, that's your bulletproof, the best bulletproof that you can have. He said, I want to tell you a story. And that's the story. Listen to the story. Simon Maruti one day decided to go to the village where he lived to visit his family. I don't know what was, I didn't go on into detail with that. And that time, when he was driving, to get to the village, you need to take the off-road. And he was driving on off-road. On the off-road, Rabotai, they put a stone. That means that the person can't drive anymore. You get to a certain area and there is a block. And Simon Maruti stuck just before those stones. The next thing, you see an African guy approaching him with stone, with panga, with sticks, many of them standing there, many of those people standing and want to stone him. Not necessarily only Simon Maruti, whoever was. It was an ambush. The guy approached Simon Maruti and said to him, listen, my friend, please make a U-turn now. If not, your life is in danger. Simon Maruti didn't think twice because his life was in danger. He realized that his life is a matter of few seconds, dead or alive. He made a U-turn with his bakkie and he turned back and he drove back. He told me the story. He said to me, Rabbi, you know what saved me? The tzitzit. You remember I asked you if I'm going to take on me the tzitzit? I said, yes, I remember. And I told you that that's your bulletproof. He said, Rabbi, that was my bulletproof. And I know it because I see in their eyes, they wanted to stone me, to kill me with the panga, with the bricks, with the stone that they have. He said, that's what saved my life. Rabotai, so here is a story from first source that I hear, and I hope that some of you also, if you remember in a show mentioned by Simon Maruti, that what saved him And the own enemy that wanted to harm him told them, turn around and go. And that's how we've been saved. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we should learn from it that the merit of the mitzvah of Tzitzit, can have a lot of remedy against the evil eyes, Rabotai, against the enemies, against anger, against bad thought. Okay, a person that look at the Tzitzit, number one, and kiss it, it's a remedy for parnasa, for prosperity. Number two, not to be blind and to remember the studying of the Torah that he studied. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we should all merit to wear tzitzit. We should all merit, in the merit of that mitzvah, that all of us will merit to see Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day. Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon. I would like to delegate that shiur, and just got message while I'm speaking to you that Rabbi David Higer sent me a message now that he finished the book of Tefillin in the merit of Liron, because Liron still in intensive care, is not well. And I would like to take the opportunity, and I would like to beg each one of you, I'm begging, whenever you have a spare time, if you can say Tehillim, if you can say a Mishnah, if you learn Torah, please delegate it. The same like we're dedicating that special shiur to the health of Liron ben Sarit. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu will cure him. Maybe join us again to the shiurim. By the way, all of that airtime of the Zoom, he sponsored it. I want to tell you, please God, all of this mitzvah will stand for him. And I would like, please God, to say Mishberach, that he should get health and all the sick, but especially for him. And I would like all of you to answer Amen, please. מי שברך אבותינו, אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, משה ואהרון, דוד ושלמה, הוא יברך וירפא את לירון בן שרית ברמ"ח איבריו ושיסה גידיו, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, השתה בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ונאמר אמן.
Amen.
אל נא רפא לנה, Please, God, refuah shlema. Rabota, if you have any question, please, Adam, I see that you wanted to ask question. Don't be shy. It's time, you can ask.
Thank you. Tzitzit at night, we don't wear it. I think.
Oh, very, very good question. I wanted to bring it into the show, but I wasn't sure. So I tell you, regarding a tzitzit at night, there is some of the poskim say that you obligate to sleep with that. Some of the poskim say that you should sleep with that. Why? Because the night is the time of the evil forces. Kohot HaResha, Kohot HaTum'ah. And Kohot HaTum'ah, these two. The Kabbalistic Rabbi explained there is a male and there is a female. I don't want to mention their name at night. And at night, the female is stronger. And when you wear that tzitzit, she can't harm you. I can't speak anymore. Please try to understand me. If you want, I can speak to you one-on-one. Okay, Adam? But each one of you can do. Gabriel, did you wanted to say something? Please, Gabriel, you wanted to ask a question. Bechavod. Where's Gabriel? Yes, Gabriel, ask. Unmute yourself. I see that you wanted to ask something. Gordon, did you want to ask something? Sorry, it was Gordon.
Yes, I don't know what to do.
What do you mean?
I don't know how to get... can you hear me?
Sure, I can hear you, Gordon. For sure.
Rabbi, are you allowed to sleep with a tzitzit?
Okay, that's the question that Adam just asked me.
Sorry.
So in certain circumstances, some people should wear them. Some people should sleep with them because it's guard them from different evil forces. And those that know that they have this kind of a desire, say the Kabbalistic Rabbi, they explain, sorry, give me 1 second. The Kabbalistic Rabbi explained that the person should sleep with a tzitzit at night. There's no problem with that. It's good for bad thought. not to have a bad dream, number 2, and number 3, avoids what I mentioned, the female form of the Yetzer Hara. Yes, any other question?
Hello, can you hear me?
Sure, who's that?
It's Anthony.
Who's speaking? Yes, Anthony, how are you?
Right, how are you?
Thank you, thank you. Yes, Anthony, how can I help?
If you go to shul and you're not married, should you wear a talus, a big talus?
Oh, okay. I didn't want to touch that because there's different minhagim on it. The minhag of the Sfaradim from the age, you're talking about talit gadol, not talit katan.
Yeah,
Talit gadol, that you cover yourself.
Yes.
The minhag of the Sfaradim and some of the Ashkenazim and the Kabbalistic that follow the mystical law, those one from the age of 13, from the age that they get the mitzvot, they're obligated to put talit gadol to cover themselves. There is a different custom that most of the Ashkenazi follow it. Until you don't get married, you don't put talit gadol.
Okay.
That's if you want to ask me that, and that's the answer.
Yeah, that's what I wanted, yeah. Thanks very much.
Pleasure. Any other question, Rabotai, that I can answer?
No.
Yes, who want to ask? I'm missing, I don't know. Who's asking?
My name is Samantha.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but whoever's speaking, yeah.
Okay, my name's Samantha.
Yes, Samantha.
In terms of Kabbalah, you're speaking about Kabbalah stuff. So I want to ask you, I wish to pray along the lines of Kabbalah.
I missed you, sorry, what did you say? You would like?
To pray.
To pray?
Yeah, among the lines of Kabbalah. Because
I don't
stuff that you don't understand. You don't think it's...
I'm sorry, I'm the wrong guy to ask. I don't understand nothing about Kabbalah. I'm far away from teaching Kabbalah. I'm just telling you what it's mentioned. No, I don't know nothing. I'm really not on that league. I'm hardly know how to read Hebrew. You want me to teach you Kabbalah? I'm far away from that. I'm sorry. Sorry,
No,
Samantha.
no.
I'm not on that level. Let me first learn how to read Hebrew, then I can teach you Kabbalah. I'm sorry, I'm not on that level.
So what you're really talking about is the halachic laws, right?
That's it. Only the halachic. I don't teach Kabbalah. I don't know nothing about Kabbalah. I never study Kabbalah.
So
I'm sorry, I can't help you.
No, but in terms of, like, you know, we're in different circumstances in South Africa now. You see, I'm wearing a mask, or can't you see? You cannot see me.
Samantha, I don't know nothing about Kabbalah, so I can't help you.
No, I heard you about that. I'm talking to you now in terms of where we are in South Africa.
Where you are?
Yeah.
Yes. What's the problem?
Well, in terms of how I can pray in my own way to Hashem.
Oh, in your own way. Why in your own way? There is a siddur that Anshe Knesset Agdola, the Great Assembly, the member of the Great Assembly make a siddur, Samantha.
But the one I have is very small. It's the Art Scroll one, and I don't understand Hebrew. So it's difficult.
Very good. You have the Art Scroll. In the Art Scroll, there is English. And Hazal said that the person can read English and he want to daven in English, he can daven. Le'alacha bim paskel. You can daven in every language that you understand. That means you speak English, you understand English, Samantha? Daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in English. You understand Afrikaans, daven to him in Afrikaans. You understand.
What if I try and understand? Okay, what if I try to understand how I see Hashem? You see, I believe in chesed.
So do chesed. Do chesed
and that's my way of serving Hashem. But I also want to reach Hashem. They're laughing at me, these guys.
I'm not. So Samantha, you can't do what you think. That's what we have, the great Rabbi. The great Rabbi come and tell us, you want to do chesed, you're obligated to do chesed. But you also obligated to daven according what the great assembly told us.
Yes.
So basically, you can't take the stick only on one side. Whatever there is, the Torah is a one big manual book. And if our sages told us that you have to do it one after one, that means it's like a pyramid. Before,
I can't
before you walk, you have to learn to crawl. Before you run, you have to learn to walk. So you do step by step, you take the art scroll, and with that art scroll, you read the English, and that's how you can daven.
But
Thank you,
my art
Samantha.
scroll, okay, but we don't have a proper art scroll. Can you send us a PDF of the proper art scroll? We don't have it yet.
I'll tell you, I can't help you with PDF because I don't have on me. But if you go to the old age home, I can suggest you, there they have plenty sidurim.
We can't go there. We
ask if you could. So
can ask the
listen to me
rabbi.
to the end. If you can't go, you ask one of the rabbi there, and he can help you. You can ask Rabbi Fox, and he can help you. Okay.
What is number on the
Guys, thank you very much.
Okay.
Just tell him I want to just mention.
Okay.
Yes, tell him I want to mention about that story.
Okay, now just Rabbi, can you hear me?
Thanks, Rabbi.
Okay, Rabotai. I can hear you. Yes, Gordon.
When does the shul open? I don't know if anyone's asked you that.
No one know when the shul gonna open. I don't think that's gonna open in a short time. In a closer time, I don't think that we'll see each other in shul for quite a while. I would like to take the opportunity, guys, to thank you all. Number one, for joining us. Number two, for saying all the Tehillim. Please keep saying Tehillim. Please learn Mishnah, whatever you can. Remember, El-Fuat, in health of Liron Ben Sarit. I take the opportunity to wish you all good night, a safe night. Keep yourself safe and warm. Please, guys, keep yourself safe. Wear mask. It's not a joke. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Rolf. Bye. Bye.